is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady.
Hello? Yeah, if you are hearing this, then I'm afraid you got sucked into a rabbit hole, and there's no telling how deep it goes.
Five Nights at Freddy's number 2, everybody. Five Nights at Freddy's number 2. This is going to get so much deeper. The first video started off very slow, very little, not much to talk about because there wasn't really that much that went on. But, woo, does it become hot in here, guys. No pun intended, considering the series. So, with Five Nights at Freddy's 1, it started us off with very little information, very little going on in the lore aspects of everything, but it drastically starts to pick up in Five Nights at Freddy's number 2. And as for references in the future videos, I'm just going to call it F1, F2, F3, F this. Because I am not going to say Fnaf or Five Nights at Freddy's the entire time. So let us jump right into it.
Hello and welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
New and improved, guys. That means that we are working the graveyard shift, pun intended, at a place that hasn't even gotten to tip their toe into the pool. He as well directly mentions an old location, not hinting to it about a time gone by, but mentioning it in person.
Now, I want you to forget anything you may have heard about the old location, you know. Some people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company. That old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while, but I want to reassure you, Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and above all, safety.
Rumors, hey? Wonder if that could be the missing children incident or probably another bite incident. More about that later in this video. So, leaving this place to rot, I originally thought that could probably explain the cobwebs that we see in F1. But that theory gets debunked by Ralph. I remembered the name. He talks about the incident happening in the past, and you can't really bring up a past event in a game that is happening in a same year. Because, yes, Scott Cawthon did do us the favor, finally, by adding a date on the payslip. Whew. Thank you for listening to the work, but it's still not enough. Now, as for the caring about our safety thing, I find that just nope.
They've spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility. They even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat? But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator a mile away. Heck, we should be paying them to guard you.
Hardy ha ha, Ralph. It's kinda hard to excuse the rumors of a place where fantasy and fun come to life when the robots were specifically upgraded to check for boogeymen.
You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished his week but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift. So, hey, lucky you, right?
Oh, yuck. Thanks for the vote of confidence. But if it was me and this was a real job, I'd be filing the same report. But the day shift, though, interesting. I had a feeling about this when I played the game, and it got confirmed.
That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth.
Should? Nope. This place really isn't the safest if the animatronics are trying to kill me in my office. And it is brand freaking new, so you can't blame the dead kids.
So while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that the robots were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So then they go try to find where the people are, and in this case, that's your office.
Yeah, sure. Expecting Fazbear Entertainment to be Fazbear Entertainment, they will follow up an explanation like this with an equally fitting solution.
So our temporary solution is this. There's a music box over by the prize counter, and it's rigged to be wound up remotely. So just every once in a while, switch over to the prize counter video feed and wind it up for a few seconds. It doesn't seem to affect all of the animatronics, but it does affect one of them.
Oof. I can hear that bad chemistry going on over there. What about the others?
As for the rest of them, we have an even easier solution. You see, there may be a minor glitch in the system, something about robots seeing you as an endoskeleton without a costume on and wanting to stuff you into a suit. So hey, we've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved. You can put it on any time and leave it on for as long as you want. Eventually anything that wandered in will wander back out.
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's wouldn't be Five Nights at Freddy's if it wasn't technologically advanced but at the same time lacking brain cells. Credit to Scott Cawthon for explaining the clear dysfunctionalities of the series. So in the famous words of Todd Howard, it just works.
By now I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room. Those are from the previous location and we just use them for parts now. The idea at first was to repair them. They even started retrofitting them with some of the newer technology, but they were just so ugly, you know, and the smell.
Yeah, for a company that doesn't mind rebranding after every bump, they sure don't mind opening old wounds.
I loved those old characters. Did you ever see Foxy the Pirate? Oh wait, Foxy. Oh yeah, Foxy. Hey listen, that one was always a bit twitchy. I'm not sure if the Freddy head trick will work on Foxy.
Oh, goody. Theory time! See, I believe that the Freddy head trick does not work on Foxy because, yes, they tried to upgrade him, but he also says that Foxy was twitchy. Now, that could mean that he was very difficult to work with, that they couldn't upgrade him, or that they just never got to him. He did say that they tried to upgrade them, but they were just too ugly and they smelled, so they went into a whole different direction. So Foxy's solution or the reasoning behind him could be either one of two, but both still count. So either they never got to him, so Foxy still has his old code. He doesn't have the same mechanic as the rest of them, meaning that he will be able to recognize you when you wear the mask. Because, yeah, he never got upgraded with the ability to recognize a mask as something that you shouldn't hurt. I believe that the other animatronics does not hurt you when you wear the mask is because, well, this is a pizzeria where there are a bunch of children. Children that we will see later on in the minigames does wear masks. And now as a safety protocol, I think that it is just, well, a safety protocol to not injure anyone that is wearing a mask, no matter if it is an adult or a child. It is just something that they are programmed to not do, and that is why I believe that the animatronics do not attack you when you're wearing the mask. But with Foxy, he either never got that upgrade or it just didn't work. He was difficult to work on. It just never took. It never stayed intact on him, twitchy and all. So even though they might have worked on him, it just never stayed in him. Then another theory would come where Foxy probably did have that code in him, but he is working through it. He found a way to surpass that coding, because in the mini games, as we would see in the go mini game, we would see that Foxy is running to a group of kids in a different room. Now you take 3 runs. In the first 2 runs, both times the kids are alive, but in the 3rd run we see Purple Guy. Woo! We see the killer of killers. If you do not know that, you are way too late for this theory. But yeah, Purple Guy being the killer that we all learn him to be. We see him in the minigame standing in the corner, and it looks like he has this menacing smile, but I think that's just the pixelated thing of him. When Foxy goes to the other room, he sees the kids dead. Now, where I believe Foxy was then able to reprogram himself, like to ignore the programming he was given, or just completely it didn't work, but yeah, either theory works. Foxy saw the kids when they were alive and when they were dead. He as well saw the killer, and we all know that the killer used a suit to lure the kids or to attack them. So there is a very high possibility that Foxy saw the killer dress up in a suit. So Foxy's programming should have learned that, hey, adults can dress up in this. And if it was really the employee, which everybody would know, a William Afton purple guy, dressed up in a bunny suit. And as an employee of Fazbear, he would be wearing the purple clothing before he dressed in the suit. Now, in a normal working environment, you would have themed clothing, especially in a place like Fazbear Entertainment. So now you, working as the night guard, would be wearing this clothing. And Foxy recognizes that. He sees the clothing, he sees the mask, he can immediately tell that it's fake, and boom, he attacks. Ta-da!
If for some reason he activates during the night, and you see him standing at the far end of the hall, just flash your light at him from time to time. Those older models would always get disoriented with bright lights. It would cause a system restart or something. Come to think of it, you might want to try that on any room where something undesirable might be. It might hold them in place for a few seconds. That glitch might have carried over to the newer models too.
Emphasis on glitch that carried over, meaning that they copied the original animatronics software to create the toy animatronics. Knowing Fazbear Entertainment, they have no original ideas and they probably copied the original animatronics code from somewhere else. And I believe that to be tied with the Mimic, but that as in a later video.
I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere. I don't think the Freddy mask will fool it, so just don't forget the music box.
I believe the puppet to work similarly to Foxy, but with different reason behind it. The puppet was originally created as a security system, yes, and as a friend for Charlie, while she is at the pizzeria itself with Henry when he was working. So the puppet being created as a security system, knowing fair well how to protect and how to think and how to be technologically advanced for its time. Oh, Fazbear Entertainment and its period of tech. I don't think the puppet has the code to be fooled by the mask, because the puppet has to know whether there are kids in the environment that are wearing masks and adults. Again, kids wearing masks in this pizzeria does make sense. Again, by the mini games, we see them wearing masks. So the puppet would know this, and the puppet give gifts to the kids. And it will kind of be weird if the puppet has to give a gift to an adult. But the puppet has to recognize that these kids are not animatronics. Because giving a gift to an animatronic seems a little bit stupid, because that animatronic will not react with the joy of a child when receiving this gift. So the puppet needs to know when they're wearing a mask. That's why I think the puppet is intelligent enough to not be fooled by the mask.
They tried to remake Foxy, you know? They thought the first one was too scary, so they redesigned him to be more kid-friendly and put him in kids' code to keep the toddlers entertained, you know. But kids these days just can't keep their hands to themselves. The staff literally had to put Foxy back together at the end of every shift. Eventually they just stopped trying and left him as some kind of take-apart, put-back-together attraction. Now he's just a mess of parts. I think the employees refer to him as just the mangle.
I find this to be the very first iteration of where Scott actually gives a backstory to one of the characters.
Oh hey, before I go, I wanted to ease your mind about any rumors you might have heard lately. You know how these local stories come and go and seldom mean anything. I can personally assure you that whatever is going on out there, however tragic it may be, has nothing to do with our establishment. It's just all rumor and speculation, people trying to make a buck, you know. Our guard during the day has reported nothing unusual, and he's on watch from opening till close.
Ay, 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 the feeling came back. Woo! Yeah, that guard is very sketchy. He's there from opening till close, meaning that he has enough time to do something before the place starts and after the place closed. He has access, he knows everything. He's there during the day, and who else? The kids.
Okay, so just to update you, there's been somewhat of an investigation going on. We may end up having to close for a few days. I don't know.
Here we go again. Yes. And how does Fazbear Entertainment react?
Fazbear Entertainment denies any wrongdoing. These things happen sometimes.
As expected, yes, Fazbear Entertainment would deny any allegations that are thrown their way. Now, it is also a thought to keep in mind that anything that happens in the Fazbear place always affects the animatronics. And what is the effect this time?
Try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics tonight if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems. We're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive toward the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Yep, there it is. There is the crucial part. I believe the day shift employee intentionally tried to get to the day shift so that he could access the animatronics in a more private and safe manner. He knew at the night it would become a little bit dangerous, so doing it during the day would be a lot better. He could do it before or after his shift, at the beginning or the end of the day, tampering with the animatronic's facial recognition to make sure that he probably couldn't connect him to the database. Now, I do not believe that this employee is William Afton himself, but I do believe that it could be an accomplice. And I gets a little bit proven, as by Five Nights at Freddy's number 1, we see that the criminal was apprehended and convicted of crimes concerning the whole missing children's incident. But as we learn on F3, we do end up facing William Afton himself as Springtrap. So they never caught the actual killer. What I believe they did catch is the accomplice.
Hey, keep a close eye on things tonight, okay? From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, you know, especially concerning any previous employees.
Bingo! Now, before I go on, listen a little further.
When we get it all sorted out, we may move you to the day shift. A position just became available.
That's my boy. That's my criminal boy that got arrested and convicted in F1.
We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years, though. I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
We got a twofer, everybody. We got a twofer. First, I mentioned a brand new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which we are playing in this game. But here, he also mentioned an old location, a place owned by the original owner, probably Henry Emily. And they're trying to contact them. He also says that the place was closed down. Could this be the old location that was left to rot?
What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place was closed down, at least for a while.
Oh, and do tell me more.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Five Nights at Freddy's, everybody. Here we get a wonderful Springtrap. Now, what could the consequences be on the animatronics?
Now none of them are acting right.
To be expected. Now, of course, Fazbear Entertainment would want you to continue working even in these trying times. And with this little phone call as it ends off, we get just the perfect verification on the theory that Foxy knows you are an employee. Listen to this.
We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform, stay close to the animatronics, and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
Wear the uniform, guys. The Fazbear Entertainment uniform. The uniform that Foxy could recognize as he saw the killer dressed in the same one. Now that we need to make sure that the animatronics do not hurt anyone is strange, for this upgraded version has to be a lot safer, shouldn't it? But with the glitches going on, yeah, people can get hurt, and I think they know that. So moving on to the death mini games. We have now talked about the audio logs that Ralph gave us, and I as well used one of the mini games to explain a feature that Ralph talks about. The Go 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 mini game can explain the events around Foxy. Now there are 4 mini games. It's the Go 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 Foxy mini game, it's the Take Cake mini game, and the Give Gifts and the Follow Me mini game that you get when you get killed in the game. There is a rare chance that you get to play these. So in the order that I believe that they take place, it should be the Take Cake, the Go Go Go, Give Gifts and Follow Me mini games. So let's get talking about it. Number 1 is Take Cake minigame. We play as Freddy giving cake to hungry children, while there is a child outside crying that she couldn't come in, that she can't come in. And as we see, while we are giving cake to the kids, there is a purple car that is pulling up. And out of this purple car steps a purple man, and in a second, that poor child is dead, turned into a crying ghost-like figure, the very first instance of a crying child or a dead kid represented visually. Just before the minigame ends, we get jump scared by the puppet, showing that this minigame is related to it. And so, connecting the puppet and the child crying outside, we go to F6 Pizza Simulator, where there is a secret cutscene you can get with the puppet crawling outside in the rain on its knees, laying with the child dead on the ground. A clear point to mention here is that the room that the Take Cake minigame happens in is a one-room building. It is a small location. So I figure and agree with MatPat on the theory and so many others that this took place at Fredbear's Diner, the very first location that the phone guy even mentions in his logs. Ralphie, my boy, thank you for the name. So, we know that this took place way beforehand. This could possibly be the very first Five Nights at Freddy's incident. But it is not the first murder. As we all know, William Afton was notorious for doing things on the sidelines and not always in just one location. After that, we go to the Go 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 minigame, where Foxy finds kids in another room that he needs to entertain, taking 3 rounds to get to them, and on the 3rd round he sees the purple guy. The purple guy just standing there in the corner all menacingly. And when he goes into the room to entertain the kids, he sees that they are all dead. And with every single minigame, you get jump scared by an animatronic that signifies that those events were specifically played around that character. And in this one, we get jump scared by Foxy. Now we know that these characters that we play as in the minigames are the old characters, the old animatronics from the previous locations and not from F2, because they do not look like the toy animatronics. But then there was a lot of posts at the time saying that how does it make sense that the puppet could be there if the puppet is part of the toy animatronics? That is where I believe it is originally not, and it has been proven that the puppet is part of the old cast. We would see him take place in the security logbooks as well, where it is Freddy and friends, and there he is, the puppet in all his glory. So that is why I believe it would make sense that the Give Gifts and the Follow Me mini-games would follow up right after the Take Cake and Go 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 mini-game. Because in the Give Gifts mini-game, we play as the puppet that is giving gifts to the kids that have just died. Their dead bodies lying on the floor, and the puppet trying to give them gifts. Of course, no reaction is coming out of that, so the puppet is trying something else. He tries to give them a mask instead. These masks signifying that he is putting their spirits into the animatronics, just like he got the spirit of the child that died outside. Now I know there are 5 kids that died and not 4. We are only giving gifts to 4 characters because the 5th character appears right before the jump scare happens. And if you take it frame by frame, you would see that the 5th character is sitting right there. And who jump scares us? Golden Freddy. Now, I believe that the Give Gifts and the Follow Me mini games happen around the same time, but not exactly in a direct order. I believe that the child inhabiting Golden Freddy got into the suit way before the other 4 characters. That is why Golden Freddy jump scares us in the Give Gifts minigame. And my theory gets explained by when you're playing the Follow Me minigame, you are walking around as Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy specifically because in a map, a zoomed out map layout, you would see the old animatronics and as well the new animatronics. Here you see Golden Freddy walking past normal Freddy. You as well see kids laying around the entire place. There are 5 corpses specifically scattered about. Now as you follow the puppet, you see he follows off into a different room, and that is leading back to the box, meaning that the puppet has just finished doing his thing, and here Freddy can see the toy animatronics standing on stage, not moving, not doing anything. And when you try to interact with one of the corpses, your game just goes out. No jump scare, nothing. Now, I believe that the puppet is going back to its box because it has already done its job. It has already tried to place the souls of these kids into the animatronics, because that is the only thing that the puppet knows how to do to save these kids. So the inanimate animatronics, the toy animatronics, do end up getting possessed by these kids. And now, yes, there are 4 animatronics. It is Toy Bonnie, Toy Freddy, Toy Chica, and Mangle. But if you played the game long enough, you might have just gotten some action with the most annoying character, in my opinion, Balloon Boy. If you allow him to get into your office, he steals your batteries, and it is a pain. So yes, that makes up 5 kids with 5 animatronics. And now before anybody of you go get mad in the comments saying, but BB and Golden Freddy and da-da-da-da. Listen, in my head, this is my theory. Let me do my theory, okay? In my head, the Give Gifts minigame, when you see the 5th child, you do not see him receiving a mask. Now in my head, of course, it would be, why do you need to give a human-looking head to an already human-looking dead kid? Sounds gruesome, but it's factual. So, the reason why Golden Freddy jump scares us is as well explained a little later on in this video. In the Follow Me minigame, we play as Golden Freddy that has already been possessed. He is already walking around with the spirit inside of him. This is a brand new location. No deaths or killings or missing children has ever been reported. It's brand new, probably the 2nd or 3rd week this place has been open. So having something happen before, it just doesn't make sense. It's brand new. So now seeing the deaths happening while still taking place in F2, it lines up perfectly. A brand new place, you see the deaths happening, you're walking through the place as Golden Freddy, seeing the corpses. Golden Freddy already being possessed, the old animatronics as well already possessed, because they're all from the old location where the killings have already happened. The very killings that we see in the Go 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 minigame, where the dead kids end up inhabiting the animatronics of the original cast. Foxy, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, as well as Golden Freddy, being already there from a way previous location. Now the deaths that happened in that location in the era of the old Fazbear's Pizza. Now the death that could have happened in Fazbear Diner or the place right before F2 takes place could explain why the place ends up being left to rot, as Ralph explained in his phone call. The Give Gifts and the Follow Me minigames take place in this location, the F2 location, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, owned by Fazbear Entertainment. Now get mad at me all you want, but this is my theory. If you do not want to believe it, you don't have to believe it. But the reason why I believe it is because Ralph does tell us in the phone calls that he has noted that the animatronics started to behave strange. And the way he mentions it way later in the game makes me believe that the animatronics originally did not behave like this. It all of the sudden happened. It was a flip of a switch all of a sudden, one day they just started acting very strangely. And this is a clarification that these murders took place in the F2 location, brand new, and it is affecting the animatronics. Ralph clarified my theory. So let us move on to all the characters and their little quirks. In F2, we get to meet the cast. It is Withered Chica and Toy Chica. Toy Chica being able to remove her beak, and in my opinion looks way better than the toy version, that she has her beak on. Then we get Withered Bonnie and Toy Bonnie. Not much important details around them besides the whole trying to kill you aspect like everyone else. Then we get Withered Freddy and Toy Freddy. Still all the same as the other animatronics. After that, we get Mangled. Mangled being the very personification of paranormal poltergeist action. This little freak likes to hang from the ceiling. I don't know how better ways to describe that, but why? Just why the ceiling? Yeah, he screeches and he hangs from the ceiling. That's Mangled. Withered Foxy we get, and as we talked about, the mask doesn't work on him. After that, we get the puppet, also known as Marionette. And again, the mask doesn't work on him. And a way to subdue him and not to get killed by him, we need to take care of the music box. Need to make sure that it stays wound up the entire night. After that, we get a Balloon Boy. He's annoying. He steals your batteries. That's basically it. After that, we get a little secret Easter egg. It is Balloon Girl. She likes to hide underneath your desk, and it's very rare that you see her again as an Easter egg action. Another Easter egg is Endo, the animatronic endoskeleton that walks around without a suit. After that, we get another Easter egg that is Paper Pal. Paper Pal also being an own AI. It works similarly to the other animatronics. Not much happens when you interact with him, like when you see him in your office appear, he just disappears from the one party room and appears in your office. As far as I know, you don't die to him. Well, I've never died to him at least, but I have gotten him. Very weird. The game actually has his own AI around the Paper Pal, but he is not officially in the custom night setting. So he is basically just random in the game, but per code, he has his own AI. Then we get, there's a long squiggly name, RWQ, I'm gonna call him for short, or Shadow Bonnie. Now Shadow Bonnie gets explained way later in this series, but I'm not going to go over him in this video. Just know that Shadow Bonnie is not a real animatronic, and it gets explained way later. After that, we get the usual Freddy, but not normal Freddy, not Golden Freddy, Shadow Freddy. And now, Shadow Freddy, I believe, plays in as well as another animatronic you see in the game as Golden Freddy. Shadow Freddy and Golden Freddy, I believe to be the same, but yet again, on Golden Freddy, the same as my F1 video, I'm going to talk about them way later on, because Shadow Freddy and Golden Freddy, I believe to be the same. And don't worry, I'm not gonna leave you with absolutely nothing around these characters, Golden Freddy specifically. One thing that we learn in F2, in the custom night mode, there is a Golden Freddy setting, a Golden Freddy mode. If you select this option, all characters get set to 20. That means that they are at their highest aggression, their full-on rage mode. So, this could tell us that Golden Freddy is associated with anger, with rage, aggression, agony. It is just pure, what I like to call, you William mode. Reasoning behind that name? Again, explained later. Now, before I leave this video off, I just want to say that I did not forget about the save them, the save him voice that you hear inside the minigames. And I as well do want to put in there that there is a different version of the save them minigame, which I have been incorrectly calling the follow me minigame. So, look at this. This is a version where you rarely would be able to get caught by the purple guy in the save them minigame. And look at what happens. you get a screen that says you can't. Now in the next video, I will go deeper into what these voice lines say and who is saying them. We do know for a fact that it is Purple Guy saying you can't. Purple Guy being William Afton. And one last thing, the bite of 87. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that in this video. My time is up. That will be in the next video, guys. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do enjoy making it. I'm looking forward for the next one, guys. Comment down below any other theories or small details that you think stand out as unusual. Like this video, subscribe, and click that notification bell if you want to see more.